Welcome back to Universally Speaking, ladies and gentlemen. This, the Judgment Day special, where we take you through the stack card for the monstrous pay-per-view. It has become more about settling the score than championships. We start with intensity and the chaotic rivalry that will spill over between TOMMASO Ciampa and Drew McIntyre. This issue started a number of months ago and spiraled so far out of control that Raw General Manager Shane McMahon had no choice but to take action. The issue and attacks got so brutal that the two had to be separated by law. McMahon enacted a no contact clause between the two, and if it was breached, both men would then be fired. It kept them apart, but only just. But at Judgment Day, we finally see it go down. Drew McIntyre takes on TOMMASO Ciampa in a no disqualification match that could well shorten one or both men's careers significantly. And speaking of career-shortening matches, many believe that after the pay-per-view, Ruby Riott may not have a career. She has decided to tackle the re-emergence of Nikki Cross by challenging her to a match. But by order of Stephanie McMahon, she would like to keep this match contained. And in order to do that, she chose to put this inside a steel cage. Cross was of course taken out the night after WrestleMania by the Riott Squad and by order of Stephanie McMahon herself, and thus Cross has come back with a vengeance for all three women. Riott may have made a huge mistake. Should she be successful, she might just do the entire women's roster a favour, as Cross is arguably the most dangerous woman we've ever seen. How will it play out? We'll have to find out at the pay-per-view. But as we mentioned before, this pay-per-view has become more about settling the score than championships. And that is no exception when it comes to our next match. For years, Big E Langston and Triple H have been joined together in one way or another, whether it be as friends or indeed as enemies. Big E was handpicked by Triple H to join a new formation of D-Generation X, and it was successful for a period, but fell short of what many expected. Triple H blamed Big E and claimed that Big E soiled the brand that he'd built from the ground up. He said Langston was ungrateful and needed a reality check. Langston has been stoic about the whole issue, and this rivalry has gotten very, very personal. Can Big E live up to his potential, or will it be game over for the former DX member? Also on this stack card is a match that's arguably one of the most anticipated from an in-ring perspective as well as a rivalry perspective. And this is of course when King Ricochet will take on Kevin Owens. These two men have been in and around the WWE Championship picture since their respective arrivals on SmackDown, and both are clearly still in that realm. But in fighting for the championship, they found a fight with each other. Kevin Owens would take out Ricochet, Ricochet would take out Owens, to the point where Ricochet would grow jaded by the fans who consistently cheered Owens over him. And Ricochet changed his attitude and therefore may have changed his fortunes. He successfully avoided Owens to this stage and even holds a win over him at the last pay-per-view, albeit a shady count-out victory. This match holds the most weight, as it's not only for pride and bragging rights, there is also a guaranteed spot within the numbers of 20 to 30 in the Royal Rumble match. That's right, the winner of this match will almost certainly lock themselves in for a final 10 spot in the richest match that the WWE has. Just another reason you don't want to miss this one. Now I know we said that this pay-per-view was more about settling the score than it was about championships, but that doesn't mean we don't have a stacked lineup of unbelievable championship matches also. Beginning with the Tag Team Championships of SmackDown. Sanity, of course, as we know, are the reigning champions. Not only that, they are raining down chaos on the blue brand, assaulting fans, staff, and members of the roster, which prompted GM of SmackDown EC3 to make a change. He said that if Sanity are going to fight on this pay-per-view, well, he simply can't afford it to be in front of an audience. So what did he do? He made this match an empty arena match. Sanity have made the open challenge to any team willing to face the danger, and it's official. Sanity will defend their tag team championships inside an empty arena. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you can't even blink, or you may miss this one, with the monster that is Jackson Riker lurking in the shadows. Another of the big championship matches that we have on this show is actually the first of two women's championship matches. We start with Raw when Bianca Belair takes on the incomparable Rhea Ripley. It's hard to find someone who has made more of a splash than Ripley since her arrival at Survivor Series as the hand-picked person chosen by Stephanie McMahon to face Shayna Baszler. But not only that, she would defeat Baszler and go on to choose Raw as her preferred destination. Since then, she's taken on all comers, but all comers don't come much more challenging than the EST of the red brand, Bianca Belair. As dominant as Ripley has been, the athleticism of Belair is relatively unmatched, and this makes for a nightmare matchup for the champion, in my opinion. Ripley is a power wrestler and doesn't have the speed that Belair possesses, and not only that, Bianca Belair might just be pound for pound the strongest woman on the roster. So this match holds a lot of intrigue, and I personally can't wait for this one. In the second of our massive women's championship matches, we will see another intriguing battle when Ember Moon challenges Toni Storm for her SmackDown Women's Championship. This one carries a lot of weight for Storm in particular, as her run as champion has come under fire from multiple people. They are claiming she isn't as good as she was in the chase for the title. Storm had a flawless run towards the title and was quite clearly the best in the division on SmackDown, but since becoming the champion, hasn't really lived up to the expectation. Storm has been rather inactive and even lost a huge main event to her very opponent on the pay-per-view, Ember Moon, in the lead up to this match. Moon, however, has had the polar opposite build up to this match in almost every aspect. She appears to have all of the momentum coming in, and this will be the ultimate measure of Toni Storm as a champion. This one should be very, very interesting, to say the absolute least. And speaking of interesting, also speaking of the women's division as well, we have a special exclusive on Judgment Day. We will hear from the newest member of the SmackDown women's roster, Ronda Rousey, as she gives her first exclusive interview at the pay-per-view. Rousey has rocked the entire sporting world by signing exclusively to SmackDown. What does she have on her mind? We will have to wait and see when Judgment Day rolls around. Now we get back to the men's division in the World Heavyweight Championship of Raw. Two familiar foes in AJ Styles and Samoa Joe are set to do battle in what could be one of the hardest hitting matches we see on the entire card. Styles has accused Joe of being jealous and claims that throughout their paralleled careers, Joe has always wanted to be like AJ. Joe has been relatively silent in the build-up to this match. He certainly won't be backwards in coming forwards when it comes to getting back the championship that he has held once before. Most notably, before AJ Styles held it. This one, in my opinion, is a lock to steal the show, as it has been impossible to put these two in the same ring, and the result, anything but phenomenal. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe go at it one more time in one of the most anticipated title matches we've had in years. And finally, we get the main event. That's right, this show will be closing with the massive 2 out of 3 falls epic between two of the best in-ring competitors we've ever seen. Daniel Bryan will defend his WWE Championship against the wrestling purist, Cesaro. Ladies and gentlemen, words can't express the amount of anticipation for this match considering the build-up. In my opinion, there has never been anyone who has pushed Daniel Bryan more than Cesaro, and I don't believe anyone has pushed Cesaro more than Daniel Bryan. These two seem destined to fight forever, and they get the chance to add another chapter to this growing novel of competition, and they face off in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This stipulation was chosen, surprisingly, by Elite Sports Management after Cesaro said he didn't care which way he got Daniel Bryan as long as he did. So Bryan chose to try and end this once and for all and prove that he is, quote, better in every way than Cesaro. He set up the 2 out of 3 falls match like this. First fall is pinfall only to prove that he can pin Cesaro, and the second fall is submission only to prove that he can make him tap. And then in Bryan's words, he said if by some miracle Cesaro makes it to the third fall, it's a street fight, so he can prove that he can out-brawl him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not say this lightly. You might want to cancel your plans and get comfortable to sit in, because I get a feeling we are going to go long on this one, and this could be one of the most epic contests we've ever seen on pay-per-view. It's never been more important to have notifications on, as we are going live on YouTube every single episode of Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views, plus a ton of great ways you can support the channel and receive many awesome benefits, including signing up as a mid-carder or above on Patreon to get early access to every single video, including Judgment Day. And you can also join the Murphs Elite right here on YouTube by clicking the join button to get access to emotes, special sub badges, and there is 3 tiers. You can join up as a rookie for access to the emotes and sub badges, or you can join up as an established star to get emotes, sub badges, and access to our private Discord server. But now there is an awesome superstar tier where you get all the previous rewards, plus we're going to throw in early access to every single video, including Judgment Day as well. And as always, the Teespring store open for business 24/7 if you want to pick up a Murphs YT 13 t-shirt or hoodie, and of course the SM endorsed Elite t-shirts, all available right now 24/7. As always, ladies and gentlemen, for Murphs YT 13, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at Judgment Day.